Hi, everyone. Welcome to 3D Art Career Sprint Round 3. I'm here today with Juan Puerta. Hey, I did
Yes,
it. We were
yes.
just joking because I've been practicing before the episode how to say the name, and I've been like messaging my Spanish friend, like, how do I do this? Can you say the name for me? And yeah, done it.
Perfect. That
Yeah,
was
he's a
perfect.
senior. He's a senior character artist at Unity Technologies, correct? Yes.
Yep, exactly.
Cool. Today we're covering lots of things actually, but newest tech for 3D artists and how this impacts your job. I'm Hannah. I'm your host for the event. Hi. And yeah, like I said, lots to cover today. We're going to be covering what it's like working for and adapting to different studios and pipelines and positions, newly emerging technologies and how this will impact your job, and how Metahuman tech changes character artist workflow. Yeah, stay until the end because we're going to be raffling off the program prize, and you actually have a choice today. You can either get a 3D printing program, or you can get full scholarship, or you can get a 70% scholarship to stylized character program. Yeah, so the winner can choose, and Juan will be choosing the winner. Okay, and yeah, it's down to you. You're going to be choosing the winner. It's okay. We've got a good approach. Okay, right. Over to you.
All right. So, hi there, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I see some known people in the chat. Hi, Jeff. So, thank you so much for being here, and I hope it will make it worth your while to spend this time with us. And I don't know. I guess I'll start introducing myself, and then we can start talking about art stuff and cool stuff, right? So, as Hannah said, my name is Juan Puerta. I've been a character artist for, I'd say, like 8 years or something like that. Before that, I was already working on 3D. So I've been in the 3D industry for about 20 years already. When I started, there was not even ZBrush and that kind of stuff. Then I actually started learning Softimage, which it doesn't even exist anymore. So the industry has changed a lot over time, right? And this is kind of the sort of thing we're going to talk about today. Like everything has been evolving and changing so much and so quickly since I started in these 20 years. I mean, when I was a kid, there was not even 3D, right? It was starting out. So it's been like an industry like in 30 years, it's come from nothing to incredible stuff that we see today. And how we can adapt to these kind of changes, how to also cope with it psychologically, because it can be charging and taxing on a daily basis to see all this new tech coming out, and it can be super overwhelming. And at least I'll try to explain how I deal with it and how I feel about it, and hopefully it helps some of you to see another point of view. All right, so I'll run out quickly about my background, how it all started. So I was studying computer science because I mean I lived in a small town in Spain, so there was not like 3D companies or anything like that related. It was like that was something that happened in the USA or in China, right? When I was a kid. So there was never that option. But when I was studying this computer science thingy, I discovered 3ds Max because we had a class where they show it to us, and then I got hooked. I was like completely hooked to it, and I started practicing that all the time. Like every night, I would spend hours until 4 in the morning. And I remember when I started, I would go to bed like 4 in the morning, and I would wake up at 6 in the morning. Like I would sleep 2 hours and keep doing it because I was like addicted to it. So that's when I knew, on that moment, I knew that's what I wanted to do forever. Like that was what I was going to do, which is great because I have no idea what I wanted to do before that. So after that, yeah, I took a course on Softimage, as I said, because it was the closest thing to my city that I could learn. After that, I got my first gig at a small company that we made films, small films. Like we were like 6, 7 people doing films, and it was so great. Like it was the first time I was working on something that I like, because before that I had so many shitty jobs since I was Since I was on working age, I've been working shitty jobs until I got that job, and I was, oh, this is great. I get to be in front of a computer the whole time doing cool stuff. And I learned so much about everything because we did everything. Like we did a whole movie of a 1 hour movie between 6, 8 people, right? So we did like modeling, we did rigging, we did lighting, like anything that they would ask us to do. We went and just learn it and do it. After that, with my friends, some friends in the company, we decided to create our own studio, and we did that for a few years. Then we stopped, and then I was freelancing for a few years too, and I was doing like a lot of architectural work. I think from my age, everybody that's been in 3D has done architecture stuff because it was the only thing that was giving a bit of money back in the day. So we all had to go through that stage, which was cool. I enjoyed too because there was a lot of shaders work and a lot of lighting and making stuff look cool and a lot of post production and that kind of stuff. So everything I ever do, I find it exciting because it's
How is
what
it?
I've.
How hard is it to transition from architectural? We had a few
Uh,
people asking about this.
it was hard. I mean, it was hard in the sense that there's so much to learn. And the thing to me, like the hardest thing to me on that time is like when I started doing 3D stuff, it was super technical, right? So all the modeling was poly modeling. It was moving vertices, extruding edges, like completely, like really, really hard work. And then like ZBrush came out. And in the beginning, I was like, oh, that is shit. That ain't gonna get anywhere. Like, that's not real modeling. That was my thought. Like, that's not real modeling. What I do is hard. Like, doing that and you sculpt and it's there. Anybody can do that. That was so mistaken, obviously. But it's what we're gonna talk about later. Thinking comes out of fear, right? It's fear of something that you don't know how to do, that you don't know how to control, and this fear makes you think negatively of it, like because you want to protect yourself, right? It's like a human thing that we have. When you see something you don't know, the first thing is negative towards it because you don't know it. So it's like a protective mechanism that we have, I think. And that was my first thing with ZBrush. It was not love at first sight. After that, I was like, oh, maybe I can use it to detail some of my assets. Okay, I'll give it a go. Then I started to try it, and I was like, oh, I just want to do this all the time because it felt so great to sculpt. But I had no like an artistic background. Like I was not a drawer. I was not a photographer. Like I didn't know anatomy. Like I didn't know anything artistic because I studied mostly technical stuff from the softwares. That's the way it was back in the day. So I was like, there was a point when I was like, I'm gonna become a character artist. And because of things in life, it was great because my little brother, he's 9 years younger than me. My dad came and told me, hey man, do you know of some course or something that your brother can do? Because he doesn't know what he wants to do with his life and he likes this kind of stuff you do. I was, yeah, let me search. And I started searching and I found a course about character art. And it was like the first course of character art that there ever was. I did it with Jeff, who's here now. Uh, and it was because before that, it was like Nomon School and Animation Mentor. Like there was these two places and the Vancouver Film School. Like, but you had to go overseas, and the other one was just animation. There was nothing else. And then this school popped up, and it was like a character art course from zero to becoming a character artist. It was like 1 year. And I told my dad, hey man, I found this course. This is so great. This is like, this has never been done before. It's gonna be awesome. And he showed it to my brother. And my brother was like, nah.
Oh, what?
But
Wasted.
by the way, this little brother of mine, he became he went into the military now.
Okay.
So, but my father saw me so excited about it. Like he told me, you should do it. And I was already like 32 or 33 years old and I had 5 kids, right?
Oh,
So I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
working full time. I actually think I had two jobs at the moment to keep it up. And he
yeah.
told me, you should do it. And I was, yeah, I cannot pay for that. And he was like, look, man, if you want to do it, I'll pay for it. And you just put the time. And I
Oh,
was
what a
like,
good
oh,
dad.
yeah, totally. And I was 100%, I put the time. So we did it. And I, it was such a beautiful time. Like, because we learned everything. And the teachers we had, Rich and Patrick, like Rich Diamond and Patrick Murphy, like they were top in the industry, because Rich Diamond, he was creating the Nathan Drake in the Uncharted 1, 2, and 3, and Patrick Murphy at the moment, he was our director on Sony. So it was like really top people that could really help us out, and they gave us so much. Like, it was like every week we had an assignment, and then they would correct it every week, and they would put all the bad stuff we did and fix it, and then make sure we had it right. And it was like it was almost 2 years course on the end. It was gonna be 1 year, but it got longer and longer, and it went almost 2 years. And I learned so much. So before finishing, I was already getting jobs as a sculptor for miniatures.
Wow.
That was my first case. I was still
Mm.
studying the course. I was having my two jobs, my 5 kids, and I was doing a sculptor was for miniature companies. So it was super intense. It means like I went to bed sometimes 2, 3 in the morning, woke up at 7, take the kids to school, go to work, all this stuff. So it was
Mm.
super stressful in some way, but at the same time, I loved it so much. Like, my memories of this time, it was like it was so beautiful to learn so much and to try to give my all to every class, to everything I did. Like, I wanted to be like do it as best as I could every time, every homework, right? And after that, we finished the course. I remember we went to the GDC that year to try to search for a job. Uh, and then I got my first gig at Good Game Studio, which is a video game company in Germany. So we moved from Spain, from a small city in Spain. We moved to Germany with my whole family, hoping for the best.
Wow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow, that's quite a big leap, huh? We've actually got someone asking you, what are some of the things you can do to be successful in the workplace as a 3D artist for your first job?
Look, my first job, it was really kind of stressful because I got hired at Good Games, and they do mobile gaming, right? But the kind of characters I was trained to do, it was more AAA, right? Like, I was working with these top guys, and I was like, and that was like my focus. I want to do like the coolest stuff I could do. And I joined the company, and then they show me what they were doing, and it's like these characters with 1,000 polygons, and it was all hand painted, like handcrafted, all the textures. And I was like, shit, like I've never done that in my life. Like, that's like hardcore Photoshop painting, you know? They were not, a lot of them, they were not even sculpting. It was just like they would create like a low poly asset, and they would paint it straight up. And I was like, I can't do that. So
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah.
super stressful at the time. Like, I was like,
Mm,
oh my God, I'm gonna get fired. Oh my God, I'm gonna get
mm,
fired next week. I came to Germany with my family. What am I doing with my
mm,
life?
mm.
So
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
that's the way life is. Like, it's never easy. There's always challenges and stuff that it's like, oh my God, how am I gonna go through this? And the only way to do it is to go through it. So what I did is I was poking on everybody, like, hey, how do you do this? What they were using, for example, for painting the texture, they were using 3D Coat. I never had used it before, so they showed me how to do it. And then I was watching the guys, how are they painting the textures? Oh, okay, they paint the basic color, then they put lights, then they put shadows. And I started understanding the process and actually seeing that it's not that different from sculpting, right? When we sculpt, we put volumes and take out volumes. So when you paint, you do the same thing, but you do it with color. So you think where the light hits, and then you show up that face more light, and then the shadow part, and that will make the volume. Like it's an illusion, but it's the same concept as a sculpting, basically. So I learned and I started doing my own characters there, and I was super proud of all of them. They were not as good as the guys because the guys were like super pros at it, but they were like, they amazed me. I was amazed every time I finished a character. I was like, I can't believe I did that because it was so challenging. But after that, I was there was like they fired a batch of people at Good Games. That was a stressful time too because a lot of my friends were let go. I got to stay, luckily, but it was like imagine this: like we went from like almost like 2,000 people, and right now Good Game is around. When I left, it was around 400 people. So it was like insane, and this is sometimes how the industry can be too. Like it's what it is. Like if something is not working, you will be affected by it. And it's not even that you've done anything wrong, because sometimes you can feel like that. Oh my God, if I would have been better, it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter at all.
And when there are mass redundancies like that and a studio lets many people go, how hard or easy is it for them to then find another job in another studio?
I don't think it's hard. Like I think the hardest thing to find a job is the first job. That's the one that it takes more time, because when you're starting out, the companies that is going to hire you only has your portfolio, right? So it means your portfolio is all you have to offer. Like this is all I got. Like my portfolio is showing my skills. So your portfolio has to be top notch. It usually right now nowadays I feel like your portfolio needs to be on the same level as senior character artist, because that's what it's gonna be compared to. Because people like the studios now, they want people that you can just throw in the studio and start producing stuff, because they can do it, because there's so much good people nowadays that is doing crazy awesome jobs. That's what they want. So getting the first one is the hardest one, because once you are already in the industry and you have experience, and the company that is going to hire you knows that you know what it's about, knows that you can deal with deadlines, knows that you can hang out with your buddies and try to produce the best work, because you've been doing it for years on your other company. So they already have that assurance, which to the companies usually means a lot, because the other way around.
And then like what would you say are like the top 5 things that like entry-level artists need to know to get their first job?
I mean, the first thing you need is a kick-ass portfolio. That's the first, I'd say the main. Like if you got that, you are halfway there, because that's the first thing. Like I've been reviewing portfolios from my companies many times, right? So they will send me 20 portfolios, and it's a shitty task in the sense that you already have your ton of work to do, and then they throw you that like extra. So it's like you need to find the extra time to go over that. So you will do it as fast as you can. That for me means I want an ArtStation link. I want to click on it, and it's gonna show me your things in there. I will just look at the thumbnails, like the small boxes. Just by looking at that, I know if it's interesting or not instantly. Like it takes me 2 seconds to know if it's what we're looking for or not. It doesn't mean if you're a good artist or not, because you might be great at doing like some sort of style, but it's not what we're looking for, right? So I know what we're looking for and what we need. So I will look at it and say, no, click next. No, click next. Oh, this one, and then I click. If I see like a couple of pieces that is, oh, this is cool, I click on it, and then I'll go more into detail. But the first thing is like if your small ones are not cool, I'm not even clicking on them.
Like what are the things you're like looking out for? So yeah, the thumbnails, but like what will catch your attention?
Anatomy, lighting, presentation, and shading. Like all of it.
I think this is really good to know. Yeah.
Everything needs to work together. Like you might be a great sculptor, but if the presentation is shit, it's telling me that you don't care. That you just care about sculpting, but you don't care about the product, right? or maybe you don't have the eye to see what makes it cool or not,
Yeah.
because that so
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
needs to really
It's all about the
showcase.
render, isn't it? All about the render and
Of
the
course,
posture and the composition. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We
presentation.
see it a
Like
lot. We do
presentation
see it a
is
lot.
this
Yeah.
is the important thing, because if
Mm,
you don't present it
mm.
right, it doesn't matter how good you are. It's like you might have the greatest product in the world, and if you cannot market it, nobody's gonna buy it ever. So it's the same thing,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah,
need to
yeah,
be
yeah.
able to showcase your work at the best. Like a beautiful lighting can make like a mediocre model look awesome, right?
Yeah.
So you need to play all your strengths. Like maybe I'm not
Yeah.
the best sculptor in the world, but I know I can do some cool lighting and some cool
Mm.
shading to make it thing looks great, look cinematic, right? So, and once you do that, you usually go into interviews. Like if they're interested, they will contact you. They will put you in an interview. First interview is just to see if you are like a normal dude. Like, and the first one it will go usually through the HR, and they will ask you, and then they will pass it to the lead artist or artist that they're gonna hire you. And the second one is more like, can you work with us, or do we want you to work with us, right? Like there's needs to be like this thing that when you come here or when we work together, it's gonna be cool, right? And I think that's super important to create a good atmosphere of people that works together and that really bring everything. Because if you don't, if you're like not, it doesn't, like you can be shy, like you can be anything, because I have many friends that are shy people or the extrovert people. So it doesn't matter how who you are, but the way you are and the way you behave with your teammates, the way you act. Like if you are like, oh, I'm so good, like that kind of shit, it's like, are you, you know, that kind of stuff. Nobody likes that. Like we are all here to learn all the time. Like we are all learning all the time from each other, and we want to push each other and help each other, and we do that all the time. And if you are not in this kind of game, then we probably don't want to work with you, because it's not going to be fun. You know, if you just want to be like the best thing in the room all the time, it's like, oh, okay, you can be it.
So you're saying it's about having modesty, but bringing enthusiasm enough to kind of
Yeah, of
get each
course.
other going. Yeah.
And there's many kinds of enthusiasm. Like for example, I'm super like mega
Mhm.
enthusiastic, right?
Mm.
But there's people that is not, but they, you can see the passion that they have for the craft. So it doesn't matter how you are, you can be any way. It's just your, the way you approach things, I guess. And the chemistry, I don't know, there's like, it's hard to explain, but when you meet somebody and it's like, man, I want to work with this guy, like he's so good and he's like a really cool dude, that's what you're looking for, basically. That's what this meeting is about. Like when you end up the meeting and you talk with your peers and you're like, man, that was a cool dude, man, that guy is gonna get the job, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. We've got someone asking you if you look at show reels when you're vetting artists, or are
Videos,
galleries the preferred medium?
no videos. Everybody, I mean, we are character artists, so we just like, we see a static image, we know if it's good or not, like instantly. The last thing I want to do is spend 4 minutes watching at a video showing your turnarounds thingy that goes with shitty music that you like. uh I'm not gonna do
So
it.
harsh. All these people that have spent so long making their show reels.
And now I'm trying to be real. Yeah, but that, I mean, that's the way it goes, right? Like I don't want to. I will watch a video if it's like, oh, I made this short film and it's like awesome. I would look at it because it's interesting to look at it. It's like, oh shit, this is cool. This is great. Cinematic stuff. Oh, that's so awesome. But if it's just like, oh, here's my character. It's like, nah.
Sorry,
Like
I think
that
we've
will
just
make,
like broken a few people's hearts here.
that will make me dislike it. You know, it's like you're wasting my time.
It's okay. It's okay. This is a good info. Don't make this mistake, guys, because yeah, it's hiring process sounds pretty brutal.
Yeah,
No,
it
no,
is.
no.
It's
Yeah,
hard.
it is. It's competitive. Yeah, it's competitive. It is.
Yeah, and it's like what I was saying. Like it's about speed. Like the easiest you can make it for the recruiter to make him like your work, the best you have it. Like if you only have two pieces and they're both great, you're done. You don't need more than that. Like I will look at that. Oh shit, this is it. That's all I need. That moment, I don't need 25 jobs of many, and like half of them are mediocre, and like that's gonna pull you down. And this is something that I always say. Like they taught me this on the course I made years ago. Like the worst piece that you have in your portfolio, that's what they're gonna judge. Like if you have an awesome piece and then you have a more shitty piece, the shitty piece is gonna put your grade, because it's gonna downgrade everything else that you made, because that means that you are not even seeing that this piece is so shitty compared to the other ones. And if you cannot see that, that means that your artistic eye is not there. It's gonna make the recruiter doubt you, because it's gonna go like, oh man, maybe he did this crazy good stuff because of luck. Like maybe he got lucky and he got a beautiful model, because then he's got this shitty model here. So, and that's gonna make them doubt. And when they doubt, it makes it way harder, right? Because so always keep especially if you're looking for a job. Like if you're not looking for a job, you can put everything in there and you don't care. But if you're looking for a job, make sure your portfolio is only showing the best of the best that you can do, because your worst part is going to be your final grade.
And I don't have much experience from this, but have you ever met any 3D artists from Indonesia or like third world countries? Yeah.
Yeah, like my previous art director, right? I mean the art director I had until a couple of months back, he's from Indonesia. Elite.
Ah, okay, cool.
Elite.
Okay, and what was what was his what was his experience of like 3D art in Indonesia? We've got someone who's noticed that I'm in, well, they think I'm in Bali, but I'm in Lombok, everyone. And they're asking about the industry in Indonesia and if there is one, and whether to look for work overseas, that kind of thing.
I mean, I don't know, because I've never lived there, so I don't know where to look. But for what he tells me, like there's a ton of work in there, like a lot.
Okay.
Because they're like, and I know that a lot of big studios, they have branches in there, right? So you can look for the branches on the zone that you're living in. And in Indonesia, I think it's a huge market, and it's like booming as far as I know it's kind of a pretty booming industry in there. So I don't think it should be too hard to find a job. I know that Elite, he told me like he started working from some big companies in there, like doing 3D art, and he got better and better, and then he transitioned to even bigger companies, and then he left Indonesia. But I know that he's going back now. So I think there's a lot of market in there.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting.
And also, like nowadays, like I mean, you can work from anywhere. Like as long as you're good, you're gonna get jobs. That's the way I see it. And the industry, because of the COVID and all this stuff, has opened so much to remote working. I was living in Germany for 7 years, and this summer we have relocated to Spain, because I was working in Germany for Unity, for the Copenhagen office. So I was not even there already, but I was still living in Germany. And we were like, maybe we can move back to Spain. And I told my company, and they have a branch here. So they made me a Spanish contract. So now I work from Spain, and my current studio is at Canada.
Wow, this is really, really interesting. This is like really, it offers lots of people from different parts of the world new opportunities. And I think probably it costs studios a lot less to kind of go remote rather than have all of these offices with people.
I guess so. I mean, because the thing to me, like as a character artist, I don't need to be there. Like I don't have like a lot of meetings. I don't have like give me stuff to do, I'll do it, and that's it. Like that's all I need. And then we'll have reviews, and I talk with the peers, and we do have Slack, which is even easier than going to someone's desk. I can just
Mm,
write you, hey man, what do you think about this? That's it.
yeah.
So I feel like there's jobs that you need to be there, and there's jobs that you don't. And as a character artist, I don't usually need to be anywhere. I can be anywhere I want to in the character art, and as long as I deliver, that's all they need from me, right? So I feel like there's never been as much opportunities as now. Like there's never been as much jobs. Like I was checking out LinkedIn the other day. Like the tone of positions for senior character artists, it's like I'd say probably 10 times more than when I started. So there's like plenty of companies all over the world looking for people. And it's not easy to find, right? Like it takes them, like you can see it because you can see companies that I've seen job offers that it's been there 4 months. That means in 4 months, they
Wow.
are not able to find
Yeah.
someone that they need, right? So
Mm,
the jobs are there. I feel like sometimes it's the people is not ready to fit into those jobs because of quality, usually. Because most of the people that has really quality portfolios, they already have jobs, right? And usually what happens, the way they fill out those jobs is they will hire someone from other company. But if you're good enough to say, hey, my level is the same as these guys and I don't have a job, they will get you because it will be cheaper
cool.
for them too.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is really good. Someone's asking, how do different country contracts impact you? The currency, benefits, things like that.
The what, sorry?
Someone's asking, how do different country contracts impact
Yeah.
you?
Oh, to me, it's beautiful.
Why is that, huh?
Because now, oh, shit. Now I
Little
live in
text
Spain.
streakies.
Got nervous. Because now I'm living in Spain, but I'm being paid like I was working outside of Spain. You know, one of the main
Okay.
issues in Spain, for example, is that the salaries here are kind of shitty for art, especially for art jobs. Like if you are not like an engineer and shit like that, like the culture in Spain is like if you are like an artist and you're a concept artist or a 3D artist, something like that in Spain is like, yeah, my cousin can't do that. I'll pay you 1,000 euros, right? That kind of mentality. Uh, so it makes it hard. It used to make it hard for Spanish people to stay at Spain and work here to have a living, right? But nowadays, as you can work for remote companies, they will pay you remote salaries. Which, if you work for Canada, or for the US, or for I think for the US, is probably harder. But if you work for outside companies, also in Europe, for example, they will pay you higher salaries than the Spanish average, and you can do a normal living, which is great.
Okay. So top tip to everyone: find a job in a first world country and move to a third world country. So your money goes much further. You can live in a mansion.
Yeah, totally makes sense. Uh, I mean, the thing for me with Unity, like, and it's like a possibility that they gave me, and I'm so grateful, right? Because it's like they gave me the chance to do this, to come back to my home, but to also maintain my family with my job, which would be impossible having just a regular job here. So I'm super grateful for that. And the thing that makes it easier is also that Unity, for example, has a branch of Unity in Spain. So that way they can make you a Spanish contract, right? So maybe Unity, they have a branch in Indonesia. I know they do, or in many countries. Like Unity, for example, is so many countries that they can make you a contract in the country that you live in, right? So I mean, it's never been as easy as it is now. That's the
Wow.
way I feel. Like it,
This is so good to hear. You know.
yeah, like it
Yeah.
was super hard back in the day, like to get your first job and that kind of stuff. It was like, man, there was like 4 jobs, and it was like they would only get like the highest people, right? I know that there's so much need because there are so much more game studios and more that are coming, you know. So the industry is still booming, and even though like we are in a recession time and that kind of stuff, I feel like the game industry and the real time industry is gonna keep growing for sure.
We diverted from your point. We were talking about your first job, and then when you transitioned,
Yes.
and the differences, and what that was like.
Back to it.
Back to it.
So after a good game, I was like, man, I want to do some more AAA quality stuff. Like that's what I was really drawn into. I was like, and then I started looking, but it was also starting to get harder because I already had like my 7 or 8 kids at that moment, right? And I was like, man, I don't want to move to another country, but we were willing to also. Like I had some interviews in Ireland, in Sweden too, and we were willing to move again, but it's kind of shitty, especially when you have a big family with like mine, with all my kids. They all speak German now. They speak Spanish and they speak German, and I'm like, nah, now I'm gonna go to Sweden and they're gonna have to learn Swedish or whatever. That it was kind of unfair, right? So I started looking for companies, and I found a company in Hamburg where I was living that is called Deep Silver Fish Labs, and they were looking for a character artist. They were transitioning from a mobile gaming studio to a more console studio, right? And I applied and I got the job. And it was great because I got to work on Chorus game, which is like a spaceship shooter thingy. And I made the characters, the cinematic characters, and the main character for the game and all that kind of stuff. And I loved it so much because it was like my career has been a little bit weird because I never got to work like in super big franchises like Assassin's Creed or whatever, that kind of huge game where they have 20 character artists doing a lot of stuff. To me, it's never been like that. It's been always like joining small studios and like being the character artist on that studio. And on the beginning, I was like, I'd like to work, but now I feel like I've been really lucky because I've got to do things my way and have so much responsibility. So it comes to me when I was working on Chorus, it was like if the character is shit, it's all on me. Like there's no one else to play, right? If the things are not working, it's gonna be up to me. And I was developing all the character and the bad guy and the pipeline. Like I had to do the whole thing. They had never done it before in the studio. So it was like we had to find an actress. We have to scan her face. Then I have to do all the polishing of the face. Then I had to do all the blend shapes for the face. And it was like developing a whole pipeline from nothing.
How many years in were you into your career when you were at this stage?
I think it depends. As a character artist, I had been working on Good Game Studios.
No, when you went into that second job, like how many years in had you been working as a character artist?
As a character artist, 3 years, I'd say.
Okay, so you got to that stage at 3 years. Okay.
The thing to me is like 3 years as a character artist, but I already had 13 years experience as a 3D artist.
Okay.
So I think that's one of the cool things for me is like I have a bit of experience of everything, and I've done so much stuff that I'm never afraid of a challenge because I mean, I've been doing so many different stuff all the time that if you say, do you know how to do that? I'll say, no, but I can learn it. And I learn it. Like it's not an issue. So I don't get afraid when they tell me, oh, you'll have to develop the pipeline. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'll do it. Right. Which also counts because of experience in life too. Like if you are 20 years old and they tell you, oh, you have to develop a pipeline, you go like, I don't want to, right? But if you have a bit of experience, it's like, yeah, I can do that. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I know I can do it, right? So that's my approach to everything I do. I did that. I worked in there for a couple of years until I got all the characters done, and there was no more characters for me to do. They were just wrapping it up, and then I got an offer from Unity, and they told me about the studio and about the ideas, what they wanted to make, and all that stuff. And and I was really into it. I was, oh, that this stuff sounds really cool. And it was kind of the same thing, like working in smaller projects, being the character artist and developing characters for those projects, right? And it was like you're gonna be like switching stuff all the time. You do one thing one day, the next day you'll do another, and that kind of stuff. And I was, oh, that sounds super awesome. And I went there. Well, I didn't went there because that was my first work from home contract, right? Like on my contract, it was specific that my place of work was my home, which, which was crazy. It was, damn, I'm living the dream right here.
And
uh,
like, what's the salary like as a character artist from junior to senior? Like, how does it range?
that's super hard to answer because I mean, I guess it depends, first of all, on the country you are at. Like, for example, Unity, it ranges your salary depending on where you live, right? And most of the companies do that. So it's not like all the character artists that work for this company, they get the same salary. It depends on where you live. It's not the same in one country than another, as far as I
Okay,
know.
well, what about if you're in Europe versus America versus South America?
I think in Europe, uh, they pay a little bit less than USA. But also in Europe, you are all covered by the social security medical stuff, right? So here in Europe, we have doctors. When you get sick, you're cool. Like it's not, you don't have to you have your private insurance and that kind of stuff. So it's very different from the USA culture where good luck, right? Uh, but I feel like salaries are pretty fair in Europe. Like especially, I'd say not in Spain and probably not in the south part of Europe. But if you go to the north part of Europe, that's where the salaries get interesting. Yeah, because I feel like in the northern countries they have way more respect for artists and for artistry. I'd say, like that was like another change for me. For example, from coming to Spain, where you are like, oh, I'm a 3D artist, and it's like, what is that? Like he's like, yeah, go to the guy that makes the drawings, that
Mm.
kind of stuff. And then you move. When I went to Germany, I was so respected inside the company because I was a specialist. Like this is the guy that makes the characters, and it was like the way they address to you, it's with a lot of respect because they see like to master what you do, it's taking you so long, and they know they can do it. They know like there's very few people that can do it, so they will put respect on your position and on yourself, and that makes you feel so great because it makes you feel empowered, like it's true, like that's the way it is. Like
Yeah,
I've
I mean, we
spent
all want to feel important.
no, but it's not about the important, it's about the
Yeah,
respect that you
yeah,
get for doing
yeah.
what you
You
do.
feel very self-satisfied. Like
Yeah,
I've made it. I've done it. You get a good sense for yourself and your capabilities.
yeah, no, also the
Yes.
your self-esteem as an artist grows too,
Mm.
right? And you feel more secure to approach your art, to approach challenges, because you are seeing that these people is trusting you, so then you trust yourself. And that's like a game changer, kind of like if they're you see like they are giving you all this responsibility, and then you're like, you can either run away from it or you can say, all right, I'll step up to it and I'll go for it, and then you do it, and that pushes you forward and makes you better, and makes you respect yourself more and not be so afraid of, oh, I'm not good enough, because we all have that. Like sometimes I'll start sculpting, I'm like, oh my god, I suck so much. Like when I did Marlon course on the facial, damn,
Oh yeah, this is a
I,
great story.
I suck so much. Like I was doing it, and I was, oh god, I'm so bad. Like I was like, oh, I'm in the industry, I'm gonna be great, and then I was like, oh my god, I'm the worst in the class. But
No, oh my gosh, not at all. I mean, like, you did a little bit of like self-sabotage. But I
yes,
heard you like you stopped and started and just like went over, just like
I
started all
started
over again like
started
a
like
few
this like
times.
5 times,
Quite a
yeah,
few times. Yeah.
because I was, oh, this
Yeah,
is
this was
even
the
worse than
likeness
when I
program.
But this
Mm.
is, but when you have the experience and you have the like the like the trust on yourself, you go through that easier, right? When you are starting, that can take you completely down and say, yeah, I'm not good enough. That's it. I'm not gonna do it, and then you quit for 3 months. But when you have done it, it's like it's always the same. Like every time you start a project, is the same thing. You will start, it will go like shit for the first 2 weeks, then it will start get better, and you'll be like pumped, like, oh my god, yeah, I'm gonna get there. And then it will go even worse than it was before, and you'll be, oh my god, it's even worse now. And then it will start like by the end, when you're almost finished, you will come together and you'll be like, okay, it's good enough. It's never good, but it's good enough, right? So it's all the time the same thing. And when you've done it like 2,000 times, you know the drill. You know that's part of the job. That's what you do. You go through these downs and ups and just endure. And yeah,
Okay, and
now
what's it? Yeah, go on.
what we were talking about now. So
We were
into
talking
Unity, right?
about, yeah,
So into Unity was great. I got to work on the production team, and it was beautiful because they told us to make this game project it's called Gigaya, and they gave us so much freedom to do it, and it was looking so beautiful. Like we were doing so much cool stuff with that really small team, and we were just having a blast, like enjoying it, working together, discussing how do we do this. Like it was like being a part of something like 100%. Like I was talking with the game designer, with Cristo, or with animator, with Jason, and just discussing how can we push it to be better. Like, can you do this? Can you do that? What if we try this? That kind of stuff really drives me, because you really become a part of the project, all of it, right? It's not like, make a character, there you go, that's it. When you become a part of it, it's so much more fun, because you really live it. It's just like you are part of everything somehow. And that project was exactly like that. And then it got cut.
oh no.
Yeah, they closed down the production team, and I got relocated to another team. So now we come to the point, and now, for example, I'm working at a team that is actually called Emerging Technologies
Cool.
inside it,
Okay.
which
Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah,
is
yeah,
great.
yeah. Yeah. Well, we got the right man for the job.
Yeah,
And for the
and
talk.
it's really exciting, because I really love like all these new tech that comes out. Like every time I see something cool, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And I get excited, and then I want to learn it and see how it goes and see how it works and how can I apply it to my workflows to make cool stuff. So it's really exciting, because that's kind of my job now, like to try out new tech that is coming out that we get, and try to figure out how can we make it better, how can we really put it into a pipeline, and how can we make it work for the people that uses our software, right? How can you really make it accessible to everyone, right? And that's what really gets me excited. you know Nowadays we live in a time where you can do anything in 3D art. Like you can be anywhere in the world. You have access to so many tools that allow you to create absolutely anything. Like you are one guy, you can create a short film that looks like a cinematic shot on your own. So it's like the best time in the world. Like it's never been better than right now to create something cool. Like it's never been as easy. It doesn't mean it's easy, because it's obviously super hard to get the craft right and to understand everything. But it's before it was impossible. Like you could not do that. Like I remember I used to when we were kids, me and my brothers, we love films, right? And we used to record ourselves and try to make movies together all the time, like every day. And we would film these fights and everything. There was no way like we could, because it was tapes, right? So you could not put that into a computer at that time when we were kids. Like you could not do anything. And later on, like we could go to a place, it would like a youth place where you could like try to mix it up with some old mixing machines that they had and try to put music into it. But it was horrendous. It was like impossible to do something professional, right? Now you can do anything, like
Yeah.
anything
And
you
like
imagine.
what technology right now is like on your periphery? Like what's in your scope now? What are you working with now?
At my work, I'm working now. I'm learning Siva technologies.
Hmm.
It's like facial deformation animation stuff. And
Yeah, Marlon's been doing quite a lot of this, I think, as well.
Jesus Christ,
It's like
it's so
recording your
awesome.
face and applying it to models and like all of, yeah.
Yeah, and it works with AI learning. So like basically you will put the thing that you wanted to train, and then it will train it into being able to make all these deformations in a natural way. And it's like magic. I gotta say, it's like magic, and it's so beautiful to see how it works. Uh, like like we're moving into finally. I feel like we're really getting to the point where games are gonna be same as cinematics. Like we, since I was a kid, we all have always been waiting for this moment. Like right, I remember playing World of Warcraft when I was a kid, right? And we got these Blizzard cinematics, like the mythic ones from my age. And it was like you saw the cinematic and you were like blown away with the orc fighting the guy in the grass field and all that stuff. And then you play the game with these little guys moving around, right?
Mm.
And now it's like now we finally get to, because we always talk about it. We remember talking with my brother. Do you imagine like you could play a game that would look like that? Like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was the
yeah.
dream that we had for so many years. And now we are in that phase where it can be true. Like now is the moment where technology has catch up with the things we have in our head to make it be able to happen. And it is now, like it's never been before. Well, like we've been running these 20 years until this moment now where it's starting to happen slowly, right? And it's like I'm working on Silva, but there's so many technologies. Like you got metahumans too. It's amazing, right? Like what it can do. You can create a character and it's a skin, it's got facial wrinkles, it's got all this stuff working, it's got the hair, like so many beautiful stuff done just like that, right? So the possibilities to create, it's like endless. Like you can create anything, right? But this also gets and it get me and gets people afraid, right? It's like, damn, like with all these new tech coming, they're not gonna need character artists, right? That was the first thing. Like when Metahuman, I remember, came out, like I started getting Facebook messages. Hey man, what do you think about this? Are we losing our jobs? And at the beginning, I'm like, oh shit, maybe we are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Maybe this is too good. Maybe it's better than what we can do. But the way I see it, like once you got through that initial fear stage of the unknown, you start seeing the reality of things. Like, yeah, like who's gonna handle that, right? First of all, like who's gonna, it's gonna be character artists. And how do you, how, because like the best thing that you have as a character artist or as an artist is the artistic eye. Is what I call is the way you look at things, right? So it's understanding why something is cool and why something is not. To understand why this is working and why this is not working. What makes this unique and special from the normal. And I feel like that's the biggest ability that comes by doing your craft all the time. Like right now, I see an old work from mine. I see, oh, this is so shitty, right? Because my artistic eye is so much better now than it was back in the day when I thought that was great. Now it's like that is bad. And probably the stuff I do now, I will see it next year and I will be, oh, that was so bad. I'm embarrassed of myself because my artistic eye has gotten better, right? It's like training a muscle, the way you look at stuff all the time, like studying the shapes, studying the forms, studying the light, the shades, and then you understand and you keep understanding and you keep evolving. And having that eye, like nobody can take that away from you because you can give metahuman to anybody and anybody can use it. Now, can they make cool stuff with it? That's a whole different thing. Like, can you make something that is worth of a character in a game? That's a whole different thing, because yeah, you can make a human like a sim. Of course, everybody can do that. It's done already, like it's there. But if you want to make something remarkable, like something that it's like, oh my God, that's what I'm talking about, then it takes the ability to understand what's going on, how to fix it, how to make it better, how can I improve this? I will change this part because yeah, I don't really like this cloth. I'll make it better. I'll take it to Marvelous Designer and make a real cloth asset that looks better. And then I'm gonna take it to Siva and make like cloth deformations for it. All that sort of stuff, all that sort of thinking on how to approach all these things is what it's gonna get you the job, right? It's what makes you special as a character artist. It's not that you can use ZBrush. It's the way you look at things and the way you are able to translate the things you look at into the ideas that you need to show, right?
So you're not afraid by the AI. You're excited by it.
I'm super pumped.
Yeah.
Like I've been using lately, how's it called? Midjourney.
Okay.
So do you know what Midjourney is? It's the AI for concept art, we could say. So it's a thing you go, it's still kind of rough because you have to go into Discord and then you type and then it will generate some images from AI. And it's so insane. Like the art that you can generate, like I'm blown away.
It generates a load of different images and combines them?
I don't know how to do it. I think it's magic. like a black crap. Yeah,
yeah.
You can
it's
call
AI.
it magic.
I
mean, yeah, it's AI. So it's like imagine, the way I think about it is like, I don't know. Imagine you're like a mega brain that has access to all the internet. Like internet is yours. It's inside your head. And then you are able to take all the knowledge from the internet and use it. Right?
Mm.
So you type something. You imagine you type, all right, I want to create a character that it's female. So you type character, female, cinematic, blue eyes, long hair, black, whatever. And you start typing and then you click. And like 2 minutes later, it will show you 4 images of the thing you typed. And then you can keep typing like, all right, change this part, until you get like crazy images. And we have gotten to the point, for example, I saw this week or last week, like an AI art made with Midjourney, I think, has won a digital art contest.
Wow.
And the cool thing is that the guy put it like this was done with Midjourney and that, and then some Photoshop retouching and whatever. And then he won the first prize. And the image is like astonishing.
Wow.
Like the image is astonishing, right? But the people is upset. It's like, oh my God, that's not art. You didn't do it. And the guy said, yeah, I did. Like I've been typing all this stuff. It took me hours. So it's beautiful.
I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest.
It's scary, but it's beautiful because imagine it's like giving power to create to everybody in the world.
Yeah. I suppose it opens a lot of opportunities. Yeah, it opens a lot of opportunities.
It's always
but
been
it's
like
hard
that.
for the people that have spent hours and hours and years training their craft.
But it doesn't matter because you can always go and retouch it. Like, I mean, what it's gonna do, it's gonna make things go way faster. I feel like if it took you to create because there's 2 things I'd say. This is something I've been thinking about too. There's the art, your art, what you create as an artist, like what you feel to create and on your own time, and then there is production art. Now the production art, it's for something. It's not so that you are, oh my God, I'm creating my art, I'm so good, I love this shit. Oh, nobody cares about that because that's not making the money, right? When you're working in a production, is to do a product. And when you do a product, you have to do it as fast as you can and as best as you can. And that's what makes the difference. So it's like 2 different things. And these 2 things combine because you have to be really good at doing your art to be able to deliver the art for them. But they have nothing to do. They have nothing in common. because when you are creating for somebody, it's got nothing to do with your art. They're using your skills, but it's not your art because you're not doing what you want. You are working for somebody else's idea, right? For somebody else's product. It's not yours. So you cannot take every decision in a studio. So it will never be your art because you would have done things differently. But when you work on your own stuff, you take every decision. Like everything, every shape you make, it's because you want it to be there, because you want it to be like that. And that makes it unique and yours. But when it's a production, it's something that you need to do as good as and fast and following somebody else's vision to get to this point, right? And that is the important difference to know. So this AI stuff is going to make productions go faster. It's going to allow small studios to create even cooler stuff. Like imagine having a 20 people studio being able to create AAA quality games. I mean, that's my dream.
Yeah.
My dream is to have a small studio to develop crazy stuff with a bunch of friends. Like, and
I think
now,
that's every artist's dream.
but that's possible. Like, why not? Like, why not? Like,
Yeah.
you have like so many opportunities. Like, you can build stuff so quickly now that you can have a couple environment artists that create a whole game, and it's not gonna be like a 500-hour games like The Witcher, but you can create a 25-hour game with 20 people, right? And this is because of the technology. Because maybe now you don't need like 5 concept artists. Maybe you need one, and then you can use the AI, and it's so inspiring because you can try anything instantly. So imagine like, yeah, the grass, I want it to be yellow, and then and you type it, and you see, oh, that works, and then you type another thing, oh, that doesn't work, I don't like that. But what if I try this? And you can have all these combinations until you get something that keeps you, oh yeah, this is going in the right direction, and then you take it and you start drawing
So
it on top of it.
so the AI is like having another contributor to the team that you don't
It's like having the
it's much easier to
God
maintain.
concept, the God concept artist that can
It's
give
like
you
having
anything.
God input. Yeah,
but
cool.
but it's a matter of how you use it, right? How do you use this stuff to create? Because at the end of the day, that's what we do. We create stuff and we tell stories, and that's what it is all about. So everything that empowers that, I feel like it's great. It can be scary, and it can be misused too. Like it can be used for in a bad way. Like, well, I don't know. But if you use it correctly, it's empowering. Like it's empowering people that cannot draw to bring ideas that they have inside their head and put it into paper. How cool is that? Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
imagine you have this great concept idea, and you will need to hire a concept artist that is going to charge you 10,000 euros, right? And you work with him 2 months to get to your idea, and then nobody cares. That's it. You just spend 10,000 euros to have something you like. But now you can do that for free,
Yeah,
and you can.
amazing. So would you say this is your favorite piece of new tech
I mean,
currently?
I'm with the AI stuff. I'm shocked because the power it has. Like you have to Google it. Like just put Mid Journey art, and you'll be like, no way. Like all those images were generated in minutes from nothing, from the internet. And it's not like they take a collage and take an image and put it in. It's not like that. Like it's new art. It's a stuff that wasn't there before. It didn't exist, and it's being created. So the thing to me when I think about it is like this is applicable to anything.
Do you think AI generated art will have copyright issues?
I think they're looking into that kind of stuff now. But I mean, I feel like it's like the internet. Like you're not gonna be able to control it. Like every time something as cool as the internet happens, everybody wants to control it. You can't. Like, how are you gonna control everything? And they will try. They will put like because you can put styles. Like you say, I want this image in this guy's style, and it will do it. So it's insane. So how copyright issue is that, like, because also when you draw, if you're a concept art or a sculptor, I will use reference images.
Yeah, and also in a sense, every piece of artwork is a copy because
Of
like
course,
it's a
like
copy from somewhere,
you
and
are
it's
always
just an
inspiring.
accumulation of ideas.
You're inspired from everybody. So how can you measure that, right? How can you
Yeah.
really make, oh, they will do it, and then the people will run over it as usual, because you cannot stop the internet and you cannot stop this new technology that is coming out. Either you adapt or either you're gonna be out of the game. And it's always been like, the world is like that. Like in the Industrial Revolution, it was the same thing, right? Everything was handmade, like all the pieces, all the stuff, and then the machines come, and everybody's like, "Oh, we're gonna lose a job." Yeah, a lot of jobs are gonna disappear, but much more are gonna come on top of that. Like I'm gonna really see it. Like I'm waiting for the next day, probably in the next year or something, where they're gonna start looking for AI prompt artist. Like that's gonna be a job title, something like that. You'll see.
And I guess that's the skill of the artist, right? Taking something that already was and making it unrecognizable from what it was before. You know, that's what you're doing every day.
There's gonna be a job that is guys typing stuff, typing ideas, and creating art and saying, "Is this what you want?" Okay, and then doing it again. That's gonna be a job, and it's gonna be great. And then you'll have concept artists that will work on top of that stuff for sure. So it's not like they're gonna take concept art or anything like that. It's just gonna be another tool that is gonna make your job easier and faster. That's what it is. And that's what I hope. And by the way, all this stuff, one thing, like all this stuff I say, like I know nothing. Like I'm just a character artist and I'm just saying stuff. So I might be wrong about anything. And it's possible that the AI is gonna kill us. That's also true.
Just a little disclaimer here. We've got someone asking here saying Metahuman and face scanning is great. It's a bit of work, but much easier to get a rigged face from reality into an engine. And then he's giving some recommendations here. Use Substance, Art Engine, and Midjourney /DAL2 instant unique AI gem textures. Do you use that workflow?
No, because I don't go. I mean, I like when I go to sculpt, I just like to sculpt, and then I will do my own textures because I enjoy the process, you know, especially when I'm creating my own art. Like, is what I was saying. When I create my art, I want it to be like mine. And for example, what I've been thinking about doing is like I'd like to create a game or something on my own. So I'd like to document, make an art Bible, create atmospheres, ambiences for my game, and that kind of stuff. So you can use AI for that. Like before that, I would need to hire a concept artist, which I don't have money for. But if I can do it on my own, I could create like these books, like to showcase, oh, this is what I want to create, right? And that would be free, and it would come out from my head. And then if I would ever going to make the game, I would hire a concept artist to help me out with all this stuff. But it allows you to be a creator on everything. And this is going to come to music too. Like imagine that, like do me a song in the style of whoever artist, and I wanted to start on this note, finish on this note, and use this arpeggio. And just type it and it creates a song.
Crazy. It's crazy.
It's crazy. Like it's insane. It's going to come to everything. Imagine for videos, like create a video or edit my video and cut it on this part and cut it. And
I was talking about this with my friend the other day. Like, wouldn't it be cool? You just like drop all your videos into like a app and it like to them together. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's good for content creators, and it would be so cool for showing your artwork as well.
What it's gonna do, all this tech, it's not gonna take the jobs. It's gonna create more jobs at a smaller scale. I feel like it's gonna allow smaller studios to create crazy stuff. Like, and it's beautiful because like right now we are always drugged by money, right? So if you want to create something that it's cool, you need a shit ton of money. So you will need to go to some big studio or some big investor people and say, hey man, I need 5 million to make something cool. Can you give them to me? And they will say, no fucking way. unless it's something that it's going to make them a ton of money. So a lot of cool ideas that would be like crazy awesome will never get there. But if you can like put that amount of money you need so much down because you need less people, it will allow smaller people with crazy ideas to create stuff that would have never been done before. So it's going to allow so much more crazy content to be done, like ideas that people have so much cool ideas that they cannot develop, because if a studio is like, yeah, that would never work, because studios only do things that work already. Like if they see, oh, this kind of game works, I will do this kind of game because it's going to make me money. That's it. That's the normal way the industry works. So if you go with a crazy new idea that has never been done before, it's going to be like, yeah, we ain't doing that. But if you can do it now on your own, it will be done. And maybe it will make a shit ton of money. It's a whole new day.
I don't know. I think some of it's a bit scary. Like,
It is.
I'm just imagining the future of this, like a utopian future where we're all like living like a VR reality, walking around and our planet's like dying behind us and we're carrying oxygen on our back. And it's a bit scary. It is.
It is
You know?
scary. But
Just like, just don't take the glasses off. Just keep them on.
everything that it's new is scary. Like imagine back in the days, when electricity happens. Like, for example, the people that used to turn on the lights on the night, those guys would be scared. They were there, oh, I'm going to be out of job, of course. But you will find another one, maybe maintaining them, that kind of thing. And it was the same industrial revolution, like so many people out of jobs because the machines are doing it, but you're going to need people to maintain those machines and to make them work, right? So it's just the world, the way the world works. It evolves all the time and it changes all the time, and either you adapt to it or you get left behind. And it's not a bad thing. It's just nature. The nature of the humans is like that. We create crazy stuff that makes our lives better, and sometimes really bad. So it's everything.
Yeah. Do you think the technology advancement will allow us to work less?
Of course, as less as you
That
want.
sounds quite nice. As
Yeah.
much as you're able. It's hard if you're a workaholic.
I mean, yeah, it's like for example, I think about it, like, would I like not to have a job? No, I wouldn't. Like, I wouldn't know what to do all the time. Like if you tell me, man, you got 100 millions in your account, right? You know what I would do? I would create a game studio and I would work on it. So that's what I would do with it, because I love what I do. Like what I do right now, it's what I want to do all the time. Like, and thankfully I have a family that allows me to get out of my computer. But if I wouldn't, I would be hooked to doing cool stuff all the time, right?
Yeah.
So how much less do you want to work? I think it's not a matter of working, it's working on what you want to.
Yeah.
Doing what you want to do, like what you really want to do. And this new tech is going to allow a lot of people to do that, to focus on their own projects, to say, yeah, I'm going to try to deliver. I'm going to build a small studio with some friends. We're going to put some cash together and we're going to try to pull this off. And this new tech is going to allow you to do that, like on a whole complete quality, different level that it was 5 years ago. It's going to be
that's
beautiful.
really cool. Yeah.
It's going to be beautiful.
Someone,
it's scary, but beautiful.
Someone asked earlier about you use the phrase art Bible to block out game ideas and original concepts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain a bit more about that? Because it's a term they haven't heard before.
Yeah. So the thing, when you're developing a game, you will need some sort of guidances on how the stuff looks so that it's consistent. So artists, we can be all over the place. So you're going to need an art Bible or an art guide, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, so like a brand board or...
It's going to guide you. It's going to have moods. It's going to have colors. It's going to have character stylized ideas. How much do we stylize? How much is too much? And you have examples. Like you say, yeah, you will put a face, another face, and the right one. You will say this is too little, this is right, and this is too much. That way, when you're sculpting the face, for example, you will see if, oh shit, I pushed it too much. This is not gonna fly, and you have this reference to check it against with. Same thing for lighting. Like this is the kind of mood we want in this level, right? So when the lighting artist is looking at it, it's gonna go into that direction that he knows he has to go to, and he's gonna compare the stuff he's doing with the stuff in the art guide, so that he makes sure that he's between those parameters. This keeps the artwork on the whole game consistent, because if you get out of those parameters and you put something that shouldn't be there, it's gonna drag the player or the viewer outside of the world. It's gonna be you know, like when a movie, when you see something that is like weird, it's like and then you realize, oh shit, I'm watching a movie. Like I'm not in the movie anymore. I'm outside, and that's like the worst thing that can happen. So an art bible will make sure there's consistency enough between everything, so that it becomes a world, a livable world that works together.
And someone wants to know how you juggle work and family life. And did you take time off work for paternity leave?
I did.
No, you did.
With I think with one of my kids, I did take that, but it was because I on the work I was not like doing cool stuff, and I was like, okay, I'll take some time off when I have my kid. And actually, in Germany, I could take like a year, and I did take a year, but then I got hired on Deep Silver, and I was like, I cut my leave to start working again. Yeah. And about the balance, I mean, it's doing what works for you and for your family, right? So for me, family obviously is the most important. And the cool thing to me also is now working from home, I'm so able to help my wife with everything, right? Because I'm here all the time. So if she needs to go out for a meeting, school, whatever, and she needs me to keep the baby, I can do it. Or she tells me, oh, the baby's asleep, I'm gonna go buy some stuff. And it's cool because I'm here. So if the baby cries, I'll just go there. So it makes me, working from home makes me to be available all the time for my wife and for my kids, right? That doesn't mean I don't work. Like I try to work as much as I can, first of all, because I love it. And it's also like a super important part of my life for my family, because that's the way we pay the bills. But the thing is, I mean, the way I see it is the less things people have to do, the less thing they do.
Yeah.
Right. So to me,
That's
it's
so
like
true.
I'm always busy. I'm always busy.
Yeah.
Like, and I do my job. I go to the gym every week. I try to stay in shape. Uh, I do my personal projects. I work in projects with other artists, and I'm always doing stuff constantly. People say, "Oh, how did you do it with all of your family and all your stuff?" It's not about that. It's just that maybe I don't spend 4 hours playing a video game. Maybe I don't do that, right? Maybe I don't spend. I don't.
Yeah, it's
Binge
like
watch.
how you spend your time. You know,
Yeah,
there's infinite amounts of time as long as you make it
yeah.
happen.
And it's doing what you want. Like you, because I'm not saying that's bad. Like you can play games all the time. I just rather to be creating stuff, which is weird because I work in the gaming industry, but I rather be sculpting than I rather be playing. So I will play occasionally some game that I want to try, but now it's like, yeah, I'm bored already, and then I'll just go to do my own stuff because I enjoy it more. I have more fun. I put some music on, I start sculpting, and start creating, and I love it. I also love like 3D printing, like all these things. Like there's so much stuff you can do all the time that and there's plenty of time over the day to do everything. Like you can be your kid, like you put your kids to bed like 9 whatever, then I usually have dinner with my wife and watch a film or a TV show or whatever while we have dinner, and then maybe I'll get to work a couple of hours. I'll get some art done in the night, and then wake up at 7 again and then start over. So there's time to do anything you want basically nowadays. I feel so people that doesn't is because they are just doing other stuff.
Okay. And off topic, but oh, hi, Matthias. Do you know how the workflow starts with scanning and using Metahuman and then sculpting?
Yeah, I've seen it. I think they released like 2 or 3 weeks ago. They released this new video where you can actually just put your scan face into the MetaHuman, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's not perfect because it's not exactly the same face that you get that you scan. So it's not like super mega perfect, but it's pretty decent. And you can probably even go and sculpt on top of it after that and make it better. But the workflow is there. I mean, it's in YouTube. Like I've seen a bunch of videos about how to do it, and it's like super fast. Like the cool thing with Epic is that they're releasing this cool tech that is kind of usable right from the get-go. Right, you get into it, watch a couple of videos, and you can usually do it. And it's what I'm saying. It's not about how, because that's kind of easy. Everybody can do that, but how can you make it like really cool, right? Can you take that face you put in there and make it unique? And not like a random guy, because that's boring, right? How can you make it like a cyberpunk character? How can you make it like a something from The Witcher that looks like, oh, that's so cool? Just take it to the next level. So use the technology, but then make sure that you pull it to where you want it to be. Like you need to have this vision in your head as an artist that it where you want to take it, and then use the tech to make it easier to take it there, because it's not easier, it's just that it allows you so much more time to make it cool. When you it's like when I started sculpting, all you're trying to do is to make sure the shapes are correct, and you are just focusing on proportions and stuff, and then you leave the artistic part aside because you are so focused on that. But once you have that handle, then you can start focusing in the art and not worry so much about the proportion, because that comes naturally, right? So the new tech allows you to be able to create even cooler stuff than you were able to do before.
Cool. So, any more questions from anyone? Because it's getting close to wrap up time. We've been at it a long time.
Oh, this has been so much fun.
Okay, anymore? Yes, it has been fun. It's been really nice talking. Like we've had each speaker this week has brought like slide decks, and it's just nice to engage like this and for everyone to be able to ask their questions and things like that. Okay.
Yeah, what?
What I was saying is
anything, right?
no, I wasn't asking you anything. No. It's okay. I'm just reading the comments, and yes. Okay. Okay, everyone's just saying how much they love you. Can you see the comments? Everyone's
I love you guys.
Yeah.
I saw Nick is here too. She was a student of mine.
Yeah, she said hi.
There's a lot of people I know here.
Yeah, quite a few of our students. That was Matthias earlier. It's one of our students. Okay, right. It's getting to the point where we're going to choose a raffle winner.
Woo!
You've got to choose a raffle winner. So how we did it yesterday was you would close your eyes, and then you would point to a name on the screen. But wait, because I think everyone needs to comment in the chat. And then, close your eyes, and then you need to point to a name on the screen, okay? I'll count you down. Okay, everyone?
But wait. Do I need like to share or something? My screen
No, you
or
don't. No. Just do like this.
Yeah?
Just do like this, and then point to where the chat is. Okay?
In the right?
Yeah, it should be on your screen. Yeah, okay.
Do I do it to the
Okay,
camera?
good. Everyone, come on. No, to a name. You need to find a name.
How can I find it? I don't see anything.
Well, that's the point. It's random. Come on.
All right, I move my finger, okay?
Okay. Yeah. And then stop somewhere. Wherever. As long as you hit someone's name.
So okay? now I say it?
Yes. Now. Whose name?
Erwin Su.
Ah, okay. There we go. Erwin Su.
Erwin Su.
Erwin Su, you won. He's told you to just scroll and pick randomly. Well done. Okay, so Erwin, please get in touch. You have a choice of either you can choose between 3D printing program, full scholarship, or I think Juan would go for that one, or 70% scholarship to stylized character program. Okay, so drop us a message on Instagram or an email at academy@artheroes.co. Yes, okay. And one quick reminder for everyone, our character mentorship program starts on the 19th of September, and today and tomorrow are the last days that you can get $500 discount on it. Yes, so thank you,
Go get
everyone.
it, guys. Go get it. I gotta say, like, Art Heroes School is probably one of the best schools out there right now, and I love it. And I love Marlon, and they like the teachers that they have in there, because when you choose a school, when you choose a course to make, the most important thing is the teacher you have. That's the way I feel, because you can learn anything on YouTube. Like if you want to sculpt something, you can do it. But if you have a teacher that is going to guide you, and it's someone that really knows his shit, that's when he takes you to the next level. And that's where I think that Art Heroes really shines, because they will put you in the spot to jump to the next level of your craft. So go for it. Advertisement.
Yeah, we do our best. No, we do our best. No, we've got a bunch of really, really great instructors in our community. The community is just, it's like being hugged. And so many people network and make friends and lift each other up and get each other jobs and offer new opportunities and things like that. Anyway, yes, thank you everyone for joining us. This is the last of the career sprint, and replays are available until the end of this weekend. So yeah, if you want to watch any more replays, you've got until Sunday. Okay, thank you so much, Juan. It's been lovely to have you.
Thank you.
Thank
love
you.
Love you guys. Have a great day or great night.
Bye, everyone. Have a good weekend. It's Friday.
Ciao, ciao. See you later, guys.
Bye.